The Disney Silver Age took place right after World War II. Many of the animators that were in the war are now back and able to work on creating some classic and beloved animated films. During the wartime era, Disney was able to stay alive by releasing their package and musical films, but now Walt Disney and his team needed to buckle up and deliver some quality movies to revive the company. Today we're going to take a look at every Disney Silver Age movie from Cinderella to The Jungle Book and rank them. Now, because so many of these films are loved, I'm sure some of the ones I'm more critical towards will be others' personal favorites, so let me know in the comments below your own personal rankings. Back to the subject at hand. Coming in last place is... I don't like Alice in Wonderland. With its ugly colors, unlikable characters, and like Alice herself said, complete nonsense. Alice in Wonderland pulls off the most annoying cliche in fiction, ending by revealing that it was all a dream, or as many people say, due to drug use. Revealing it was a dream is a total kick in the stomach because any investment you have in the project is completely undone, and it's just a complete nothing burger. I have a slight suspicion only hipsters would be able to enjoy Wonderland.
You are a hipster!
Next up, we have Cinderella, the first of the Silver Age movies. And although I don't dislike Cinderella, I believe it doesn't match the other films in terms of enjoyment and quality. Not only that, but it's overall a pretty slow movie, and there are definitely better Cinderella adaptations out there. I enjoy Cinderella as a classic story, but will almost certainly never revisit this version. The runtime is plagued with filler content, having 3 entire mouse chases, where this time could have been way better spent to make the prince an actual character instead of just someone who has all of 2 lines throughout the movie. Lady and the Tramp is a movie with not much to say about. Overall, it's a pretty solid movie. The spaghetti was cute when the dogs do it, but not so much when humans try to recreate it. At the time of release, Sleeping Beauty was meant to be the biggest creation of Walt Disney yet, having an enormous budget for the time of $6 million. The movie ended up not being received too well and was overall a disappointment for the company. The big budget definitely shows as the animation and backgrounds are still fantastic to this day. Both the fairies and the Maleficent are enjoyable members to the cast. The prince carries on the tradition of barely being a character, but to Disney's credit, it was the most developed prince yet at the time of release. Peter Pan kinda sucks. Not the movie, but the character. He's not really much of a likable protagonist at all, but where he fails, the other members of the cast can pick up the slack, as Captain Hook is one of the most charming and likable characters of the Disney Silver Age, with his obsession with Peter Pan and constantly yelling Surprisingly, I actually like Tinkerbell, as in the original Peter Pan, she doesn't talk, which definitely makes her character way more likable. She is probably the most devious character in the movie, as she tries to knock Wendy of the sky out of pure jealousy. Going into watching the Silver Era, I had seen every movie in it except one, that being The Sword in the Stone. I heard generally negative things about the movie, but after watching, I can happily say I disagree and found it an enjoyable time. But I do definitely understand some of the complaints as the movie is barely related to Arthurian legends. Only in the last 5 minutes, after the main climax of the movie, does it become about the sword and the stone. I also do think the conflict between Madame Mim and Merlin should have been built up more prior to the climax, as the conflict seems shoved into the movie because they remembered they needed a villain. In addition, Arthur should have played a more contributing role to the fight, as he barely does anything throughout the movie, which is something I wouldn't expect, him being the main character and all. With all that said, I did enjoy The Sword in the Stone. It was a nice laid-back, low-stakes, warm movie. The Jungle Book is iconic, and for good reason. The music is great, as well as all the characters being very enjoyable. It's a great story that I have almost nothing critical to say about, other than the last-minute shoved-in love interest, who is credited as the girl in the credits, not even a real character. The Jungle Book is a great movie all around, and was the last movie Walt Disney was able to work on before his death. Coming in number 1 is 101 Dalmatians. It's a great movie with its intense action, suspense, and one of the best villains of all time, that being Cruella. And her henchmen are nothing to scoff at either, as they are both great characters in their own right. 101 Dalmatians probably has the best romance of the Silver Age, with the mastermind spotted dog, Pongo, orchestrating his master plan in order to help his owner find love. 101 Dalmatians was the first of the Silver Age films to be made using a new advancement in animation, allowing a trace of the original animation to be colored in, leaving a thick black outline. Another advancement made for this movie was having a 3D model of a car used during the animation to create a 3D effect on some of the cars. These are both tools we would continue to be seeing used for quite some time. Another great aspect of 100 Dogs with Spots is the puppies, unlike some other baby animals, aren't insufferable and are actually quite enjoyable characters. Overall, 101 Dalmatians is a really great film and my personal favorite of the Disney Silver Age. An era that would see the production of multiple classic animated films, but also the death of company creator Walt Disney. Join me next time when we take a look at the Disney Bronze era. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching.